What up, everybody? Good morning and a very happy Wednesday to you all. Making the turn on this week, DK Show coming to you from the Sports Talk studios this morning. Appreciate you tuning in however you're tuning in. Whether it's on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Also available online to stream at sportstalk1051.com. You got your smart devices, smart speakers, the app, download that, take it on the go. And the video streams also up and rolling, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch this morning. But a very happy Wednesday to you all. What do we got on our game plan for us this morning? Well, if you're just maybe waking up and going, it's not Wisconsin related, but nonetheless, we got a trade in the NFL. George Pickens going to the Cowboys. So that was just thrown out there 15 or so minutes. So Steelers trading George Pickens to the Cowboys. Looks like it's going to be a third rounder and a late round pick swap. So there you have it. Cowboys getting another receiver to pair up with CD Lamb. All right, what else is on our game plan for us this morning? Brew Crew picking up another W last night to take down the Astros 4-3. Chad Patrick was dealing up until his final inning there, where he gave up a 3-run shot in the 7th inning. But nonetheless, Chad Patrick, a quality start, I would say. I mean, he was really pitching really well up until that 7th inning. His final line, 6 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, did issue a walk in that 1 home run. But he picked up his second win of the season to improve to 2-3 and a 3.08 ERA. The bullpen holding it down for him afterwards. Uribe, going an inning, did issue a couple walks and a hit, but then Nick Mears was fantastic again. And then Trevor McGill picking up his 4th save of the season. Brewers will try to go for the sweep just a few hours from now. Get a little bit of an earlier game today with a 12:10 first pitch. So, and then getaway day. Brewers off day tomorrow before taking on the Rays of Tampa Bay in Florida. So we'll talk some Crew, talk a little bit about last night's game. Got some early run support. It was, the only run scored were in the first because of Rhys Hoskins' double, and then Jake Bauers following it up with a home run. So only 4 runs in the first, but that was enough for the Crew to hold it down and at least secure a series win. We'll preview today's game with Quinn Priester going on the mound for the Brew Crew. So plenty of baseball talk coming at you here this morning. We're going to have a couple of fun things we're going to do here today. So I'm sure maybe a lot of you saw this, but because, why not? I mean, it's people could sue for anything these days, but there's a fan. Did you see this story? There's a fan that is suing the NFL for $100 million for $100 million for overdraft or Shedeur Sanders' draft slide. The fact that Shedeur Sanders fell in the draft. This fan, this Colorado Buffaloes fan, is suing the NFL $100 million for emotional distress and trauma. In the lawsuit, I'm reading this from CBS Sports. John Doe says he's a dedicated fan of the Colorado Buffaloes and that he closely followed Sanders over the past 2 college football seasons. Plaintiff claims that the reports and, quote, leaked statements suggesting that Sanders tanked interviews, wasn't prepared, and was too cocky in the pre-draft process helped create a narrative that, quote, unjustly harmed his reputation. These slanderous statements caused emotional distress and trauma to the plaintiff as a fan and a consumer. Okay. In addition to the $100 million, This plaintiff is also requesting a formal acknowledgement from the NFL regarding the emotional distress caused by their actions and statements, a retraction of the slanderous statements made about Shedeur Sanders, along with an apology for any harm caused to his reputation, implementation of fair practices in the drafting process to ensure that talented players are recognized and given opportunities on merit, any additional remedies the court deems appropriate, including compensatory damages. Some more money. All right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, of all the things, we got some serious stuff going on. And then we get this. So let's turn this into a little bit of a fun thing. If because you're all listening, you're a sports fan, I would imagine. I don't think you're listening for just the sound of my voice, but you're a sports fan. So let's turn this into maybe kind of a fun thing. All right. What would you sue if you could do it? If you could, what would be a sports thing you would sue for? Okay. Easy one for Packers fans. All right. I'll give you one of mine. I've got like 11 things so far. All right. I've got 11 things that I'd file a lawsuit for. But you know what? Maybe I'll even get the marker out and put it on the whiteboard before we take it down and move it to the next studio. But what are the things? It could be Wisconsin sports related, or maybe if you want to go throughout the entire sports world. But one easy one, for example, I'd sue the NFL for the Hail Mary game. That caused me emotional distress. That caused me some anger. Man, it caused me some sleep. I'll never get those hours back. I'll never get those minutes back. So I'm suing for the Hail Mary game. All right. Boom. There's an example. All right. Let's have some fun with this because this is just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So let's come up with a list as sports fans. All right. We're going to go to sports court. We're going to call it, we're going to play a little game called Sports Court. What? And give me a fun reason why. Give me the whole, the emotional distress or something involved with it. All right? Y'all got something. Don't be shy. Hit me up. Surveyor, I'm expecting some from you. C-Bomb, I'm expecting some from you for sure on this one. So text me, 715-830-1912. And I just thought of another one because, there you go. Emotional distress just sparked one in my memory bank there. So I'll go through this throughout the morning here. I'll add them to the marker board here this morning in the studio. Okay. Maybe I'll kind of tally which ones we get the most nominations for there. But how ridiculous. I mean, come on. So all right, we'll have that. What else do we got on the docket? We're gonna do a little thing, little trash talk Wednesday. We're gonna do a little trash talk Wednesday. Trash talk about our rivals and our little friendly banter competition back and forth. If you got, and I'll open it up to you. I don't care if you're a Vikings fan. I don't care if you're a Bears fan. I don't care if you're a Cubs fan. And you got some trash talking you could do definitely to the Brewers people right now. But today, Wednesday, is a Trash Talk Wednesday. You're allowed. You're allowed to say something. Trash talk about your main rival or a rival team. All right? I don't care what it is. Just make it appropriate so I can say it on the air without getting fired or fined. Okay? Just do it that way. But hit me up with a text or comment on the video streams or on the social medias. If you got a little trash talk thing that you'd like to send off to a rival fan base, to a rival team. Only on Wednesdays. Trash Talk Wednesday. Also, we got stock reports. Whose stocks are rising, whose stocks are falling. You can also make your stock reports known to us by hitting us up with that text or hitting me up on the X/Twitter at DANKSPR, Facebook.com/Kasper Sports. Hoops-wise, Pacers jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the series with Tyrese Halliburton, game-winning three-pointer. So, oh boy. Yeah, Pacers taking 2 on the road and now going back to Indiana. Minnesota Timberwolves dropping game 1 against the Warriors, but it may have come at a cost for the Warriors. Steph Curry dealing with a hamstring injury, but the Warriors still getting it done last night. So every lower seed in the NBA playoffs so far is won. Every team that's ranked or seeded lower is won. So Stanley Cup playoffs last night. Carolina taking game 1 in overtime against the Capitals. Oilers taking a 4-2 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights in game 1 of their series. So, all right, we got a full up game plan here this morning. Let's have a little fun here as we make the turn on this week. All right, we got a few things. Let's lighten up the conversation here. Let's have a little fun with this one. All right, so let's pitter patter. Let's get at her. We'll talk some baseball to open up things. Can the Brewers get a sweep later on this afternoon, just a few hours from now? Quinn Priester going to be on the mound for the Crew. Can the Brewers secure that series sweep before they have the off day tomorrow before a travel day? Brewers currently 3 games behind the Cubbies for first place in the division. Brewers now 1 game above 500 at 19-18 in second place in the NL Central. Plus, we got a Brandon Woodruff update. We got another Brandon Woodruff update. How close are we getting for Woodruff to return to the Brew Crew? We'll hit that up too. All right, let's take our first break, and then the lead off to begin this Wednesday morning coming up in just a few minutes. For over 40 years, Post Glass and Mirror has been Chippewa Falls' trusted name in glass services. Whether you're updating your bathroom with a custom shower enclosure, replacing a windshield, or enhancing your business storefront, their skilled teams deliver quality and precision. Family-owned company, they pride themselves on fast turnaround times and personalized service. Just give them a call at 715-723-8676 or visit postglassandmirror.com to learn more. Post Glass and Mirror, where clarity meets craftsmanship. All right, we got Jeremy chiming in this morning with what he would sue for. Since if you're just joining us, before we get to a little Brewers chat here, if you're just joining us, gave you a couple of things since we're making a turn on this week. I'm sure you saw, if you did it, it is a real story. It is a real thing. There is a fan that is suing the NFL for $100 million. $100 million for the emotional stress that was placed on him personally to see Shedeur Sanders falling in the NFL draft. True story. Not even making that up. So we're going to play a little sports court, and we're going to file some cases here too. What would you sue for? So the example I gave was like the Hail Mary. Okay, that's an easy one probably for a lot of Packers fans. So we'll add that. We got probably the last thing that we put on the white marker board here in the old studio before we move it on over to the new studio, because I think it was Bloomer Tony that mentioned like a marker board segment sort of thing in the new studio. And I like that. So we'll add Hail Mary up there. But Jeremy, I like this one from Jeremy too. I would sue over all the times the Packers have been interested or had discussions with potential trade partners or free agents. They get my hopes up just to tear them down. Seabaum also said, I would sue the NFL. I instantly thought of the film area. He said, I would sue the NFL for not having replay when Jerry Rice fumbled in the playoffs in early 1999 that caused the Packers to lose. That was the day T.O. was born, catching a touchdown for Steve Young to beat us. That was a fumble, and Green Bay should be moving on. Well, I have a list right now. I'm not putting a number, a cap, or a minimum on it. Just whatever comes to my mind. That was also on my list too, C-Bomb, was the Jerry Rice fumble. I think, was that also the last game for Mike Holmgren as Packers head coach? Believe? I'll have to double check. But yeah, that was on my list too. No doubt about it there, bud. So that's one thing. Hit me up with a text or comment on the video streams, what you do. This is just for fun, okay? But we're going to put it up. We're going to have a caseload up here. And if we have any lawyers listening, let us know if this is something you would take to court for us. Pro bono, of course. But also Wednesdays, we're going to do a little Trash Talk Wednesday. So if you got something, this is your one day where you can maybe trash talk your rival team or rival fan base or whatever, but keep it clean so I can say it on the air. Now is the time to do it on a Trash Talk Wednesday. So C-Bob's got a couple of them. What has 3 teeth, 1,000 legs, and an IQ of 135? The front row of U.S. Bank Stadium. What? Oh, boy. Yeah, okay, C-Bob. Come on now. Come on. Oh, man, that made me chuckle a little bit. So, another one that was on my list, too, that Jason sent over, suing Duke and the officials for the job in the 2015 National Championship game. Yeah, that's on my list too. That was the one I just added about 20 minutes ago when we were talking about emotional stress from that one fan. I'm like, okay, that was the worst day after me. Yep, Mark just texted that one in too. I'm following litigation against the refs in the second half of the NCAA championship game. Yep, that one's definitely on the list. We've gotten Jason, Mark, and myself now. Definitely, that's probably the most popular one. We'll try to keep a tally on there depending on how big our list gets here. So Send them on over. I've got double-digit case files that I'll sprinkle on throughout the morning here, or I'll go through all of them at one point. But there's a few. Most of them are Wisconsin sports related, but there's a couple of general ones out there too. So, but keep those coming. All right, keep those coming. 715-830-1912 with a quick text, or you can hit comment on the video streams or hit me up on the socials. So, all right, let's switch gears here. Just talk a little Brewers here as we get more text coming in here. I love this. Brewers picking up a win last night against the Houston Astros, 4-3 to at least secure a series victory. Chad Patrick was solid up until the seventh inning where he gave up that 3-run shot. But his final line, 6 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, did strike out 6 to pick up his second win of the season to improve to 2-3. Uribe and Nick Mears credited with holds, and then Trevor McGill picking up his 4th save of the season. All the runs for the Brewers last night coming into the first inning, where you had Rhys Hoskins with the bases clearing double to score 2 runs with 2 outs. And then right after, Jake Bauers fouled it up with a shot to center field, home run to add a couple more runs there. And that was enough for the Brewers as they didn't score at any other points in this game. So, but credit to Chad Patrick for having a very good game up until that 7th where the Astros came back in it and made it an interesting game there. But Nick Mears was pretty darn solid again in a tough situation. He's been proven to be that guy that this team is going towards when they're in those tight situations. When you got runners on, got to get out of it. And Nick Mears has kind of proven so far to be that go-to guy. So good to see that since, he was just a trade acquisition last year from the Colorado Rockies. Brewers will try to go for the sweep later on this afternoon, 12:10 first pitch. We've got Quinn Priester on the mound for the Crew. And the thing is, too, like if the Brewers could get this win today, that means they would have gotten it done with Tobias Myers, who we were hoping to have a really good start, right? I mean, his first couple starts of the season haven't been great. Pat Murphy sending a message in his second start, kind of yanking him early, like, got to get your stuff back, man. And he did that. He did that on Monday. Chad Patrick, guy we didn't know really about at the beginning of the season, spring trading, been thrown into the rotation because of injuries. He goes out there and picks up a W and has a fantastic pitching or a really good pitching performance yesterday. And now it's Quinn Priester. So, I mean, if the Brewers are able to take a sweep, win these 3 games with those 3 pitchers, it's not a knock on them. It's just I think there was some uncertainty, maybe a little bit like, okay, are they going to be able to, pick up a series win because Tobias hasn't looked great. Chad Patrick, how much are we ready to put a lot of trust in him? And then same with Quinn Priester here too. So, I mean, if they could pick up the sweep with these 3, that's a huge win. That's a huge stretch of games here for the Crew. So looking at today's matchup, and it will be a left-handed pitcher going for the Astros. Valdez going for the Astros, who's 1-4 and 7 games started this year, 4.39 ERA. He's coming off of a loss against the White Sox back in the second, where he went 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and 6 strikeouts. And then back on the 26th, a quality start for him, but he got charged with the loss. 8 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. No decision back on the 20th against the Padres. 6 innings, 2 earned runs with a couple of strikeouts. So, Quinn Priester, looking at his last outing, and he's looking for a bounce-back performance. Actually, maybe looking for a bounce-back performance from his last couple of outings. Cubbies was his last appearance. Got the no decision, at least, but that was back in the second when he went 4 1/3, giving up 7 earned runs on 6 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. The game before that was also a no decision where he went 5 innings, 5 earned runs, 8 hits against the Cardinals. So I think we're kind of, for Quinn Priester, when he was first acquired from the Red Sox, And you looked at his first couple outings for the Brewers. I mean, they were pretty darn solid, right? April 10th against Colorado, he goes 5 innings, gives up 1 earned run on a home run. April 15th, picks up his first win so far, his only win so far this season against Detroit. 5 innings, 1 hit. San Francisco, back on the 21st, 4 innings, couple earned runs, and a no decision. And then we just went through his last couple of outings there. So, be nice if we could get the Quinn Priester version from, the first 3 games of his Brewers career. Obviously, not really any experience with the Astros lineup going up against Quinn Priester. Walker does have 1 career at bat against him. Not a ton of experience with the Brewers lineup going up against Valdez. Eric Haas actually has 10 career at bats. That's the most. And he's a 300 hitter against him. Cameron, actually, the Mike Cameron's kid, who's just been getting a little bit of playing time here, has got the second most career at bats against him. 6 career at bats. It's guys who have spent some time a little bit in the AL, in the American League. That's about it. So a little bit of unfamiliarity, again, between these two. And that's what we're going to get with a lot of these National League and American League matchups. So, but hopefully Brewers will be able to pick up that win today and then hit the road feeling pretty good after losing a weekend home series against the Cubbies. Maybe hopefully riding a 4-game winning streak when they go into Tampa. Quick note, though, a couple Brandon Woodruff update. So, possibly, likely, probably, potentially, his last rehab starts yesterday in AAA Nashville. 60 of his 83 pitches. He threw 83 pitches over 5 innings. They were hoping for 6 innings, but 85 pitches was his max. 60 of his 83 pitches were for strikes. He topped out at 94.4 miles per hour on his fastball, allowed 2 runs and 7 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Mostly soft contact, it said on the recap, except for a go-ahead solo home run in the 5th inning. So now what? What's the next plan for Brandon Woodruff? Well, this is according to MLB.com. Here are the options for Woodruff. He could make 1 more rehab start on Sunday, which happens to be the final day of his 30-day minor league rehab assignment, or he could rejoin the Brewers for his first start in the major leagues since 2023. So, is it going to be another start, or is it going to be another rehab start, or could we maybe possibly see him on the road against Tampa Bay? The front office, coaches at Woodruff will collaborate on that decision when he returns to Milwaukee, which he's done between each of his 5 rehab starts so far. Was reading a little bit more earlier this morning too, and it says Woodruff's health and readiness to face major league hitters is the most important variable, but it's not the only variable. There's also the matter of roster management, since the rules allow only 1 travel day after the end of his 30-day rehab window before the Brewers must activate Woodruff from the injured list. So, what does that mean? If he was to do another rehab start at AAA, he would have to travel to Cleveland to join the Brewers on Monday and be activated from the injured list on Tuesday. The Brewers would then have to essentially play 1 pitcher short until Woodruff is ready to start during the May 16th, 18th series against the Twins at American Family Field. However, if it's decided that he's ready to pitch in the majors, he could travel with the team for the start of this week-long road trip and either start Sunday at Tampa Bay on 4 days rest or Monday at Cleveland on 5 days rest. So it maybe seems like if that were the scenario, it would probably be the Cleveland series. Coming up here, peeps, Brandon Woodruff. It's getting darn close. And honestly, I know anybody who maybe go to that Brewers Twins home series would love to see possibly Brandon Woodruff get that start. It might be best for Brandon Woodruff for the butterflies and the nerves and the emotions if he were to start on the road, get that out of the way. He's still going to be emotional. He's still going to be nervous when he pitches back at AmFam Field, but maybe take away that extra nervousness with his first start. Maybe do that on the road a little bit. So if he starts, let's say Monday, Cleveland, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he still potentially would start actually in that series against Minnesota. So, I mean, that would probably be the Saturday game. But I would imagine he might be just a little bit more amped up if that's his first game back in the major league levels and it's at the home in front of the hometown crowd. Maybe alleviate a little bit of that on the road going up against Cleveland. But nonetheless, good news. Very positive news trending for Brandon Woodruff and his return to the to the Brewers. All right, let's take a quick break. Let's add some more sports cases, all right? Send those puppies on over. Hit me up with a text, 715-830-1912. Quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Since 1952, AJM Automotive Services has been Eau Claire's go-to for honest, reliable auto care. From oil changes and brake work to full engine repairs, tires, and even towing, their experienced team does it all with integrity and no upselling. And since it's lawn mowing season, do you need maybe some tune-ups with that rider? Well, hey, they got you covered over there too with some small engine repair services as well. So give AJM Automotive a visit today at 1919. That's 1919 Brackett Avenue in Eau Claire. We also got to give a shout out to our good friends, our good partners, longtime partners, Carpet City Flooring Center, because the floor in the new Sports Talk studio, I don't know if I want to show it to you guys yet. I am so geeked up about it. We got something cool planned. I don't know if I should show it to you now or wait till it's all set up. I'll probably show it to you all because it's awesome. It's really cool. It's not just typical carpet in there. We did a little something extra special. And it's a big thanks to our friends at Carpet City Flooring Center for being creative with that too. So if you are in the need for updating some flooring in your space, whether it's your home or maybe your office or whatever the case may be, go visit our good friends Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. They can help you out. If you're not even sure where to start, their team is incredibly creative, very knowledgeable, so easy, so friendly to work with too. Just awesome people in general overall. So go give them a visit if you are in the need for any type of floor. Maybe you're updating your shower, your bathroom too, tile. They can help you out with that too, especially with Mother's Day coming up, right? Maybe you want to surprise mom or the wife with a new bathroom with some shower tiling, or your floor space too. So Bloober Tony, the texting line's working for Bloober Tony. Marker board and working text messages, baby. Morning, DK. I'd put a lawsuit against Bob Slowick for emotional distress, especially from the soul-crushing 4th and 26 call back in 2004 against the Eagles. Defensive play call malpractice and still have PTSD every time the Packers get into a 3rd or 4th and long on defense. That's a good one. That's a good one. And thank you, Bloomer Tony, for phrasing it the way you did. You're right. Because how many times now are we watching a Packers game? I do it. Obviously, Bloomer Tony does it. And I know we're not the only two. But how many times are we watching a game and it's like 4th and 11 and we don't feel comfortable? And I guarantee you, for a lot of us, it directly goes back to 2004 and 4th and 26. You never feel comfortable. You're never feeling confident if it's 4th and 26 or 4th and 10, 4th and 12, 4th and 20. You're not feeling comfortable. We'll add it to the marker board. So if you're just joining us, it's kind of a fun topic for today. There is a fan that is suing the NFL $100 million for $100 million over Shedeur Sanders sliding in the draft. And this fan, they call him John Doe, says that he's a dedicated fan of the Colorado Buffaloes and that he has closely followed Sanders over the past 2 college football seasons. The plaintiff, this is according to CBS Sports, claims that reports and leaked statements suggesting that Sanders tanked interviews, wasn't prepared, it was too cocky in the pre-draft process, helped create a narrative that unjustly harmed his reputation. These slanderous statements caused emotional distress and trauma to the plaintiff as a fan and a consumer. In addition to the $100 million, the plaintiff requests these 4 things: a formal acknowledgement from the NFL regarding the emotional distress caused by their actions and statements, a retraction of the slanderous statements made about Shedeur Sanders, along with an apology for any harm caused to his reputation, implementation of fair practices in the drafting process to ensure that talented players are recognized and given opportunities based on merit, any additional remedies the court deems appropriate, including compensatory damages. More money. Okay. Yeah. So let's make this a little bit of a fun topic here, because we all have gripes about our favorite teams, or we've all been heartbroken about some of the outcomes for our favorite teams. Let's put together some court cases. All right, let's put together some court cases here. I've got a list. This is my list. I don't have a cap. I don't have a minimum. I'm going to keep adding to it the more I think about it. The easy one, and probably one that a lot of Packers fans have, Fail Mary. Suing the NFL for the Fail Mary game. You know, after that game, I remember saying, you're welcome to everybody else, because that is what got the officials, the regular officials, back into the game. But I mean, for crying out loud, we sue. I mean, that was, you want to talk about emotional distress and anger and just frustration and stuff I probably can't say right now. That was the game. I'm suing the NFL for the Fail Mary game. We're adding it to the marker board. Suing for the Jerry Rice fumble. That would have allowed the Packers to continue in the postseason. Clear fumble. And they didn't give the ball to Green Bay. I am suing Ron Wolf for making us go through the Ray Rhodes era. All roads lead to championships. No. 1 year, that didn't work. Could have possibly had Andy Reid. So I want that year back from the Ray Rhodes era. I want that 1 year back. I am suing R.I.P. Ted, but I am suing Ted Thompson for not drafting TJ Watt and trading out of the pick and getting Kevin King in the second round. I'll just say it for everybody who's probably thinking it too. I mean, come on. We could have had TJ Watt. He was there. Homegrown boy. One of the most dynamic edge rushers in the game. Could have had him. 2015 Badger basketball, not suing Badger basketball, suing Duke and Coach K and the officials. That should have been our championship. You want to talk about emotional stress, depression, anger, grief. That day after is the worst I have ever felt after a game. It's the worst I have ever felt after a game. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do anything. I was going through the 5 stages of grief. And that was our last shots for Badger basketball. We had it. We should have had it. So I'm suing Duke for one of the many championships they have. It should go to Wisconsin. And I'm suing the NCAA for that too. I am suing David Stearns for trading Josh Hader in the middle of a playoff hunt. I don't know if the Brewers would have won the World Series, but it sure looks like they missed the postseason. Their team stunk afterwards at the second half of the season. I want that back. I want to see what could have at least happened with that team, because that trade didn't work out. I am suing, going back to the Tuck rule. Charles Woodson sacking Tom Brady. Should have been a fumble in that snow game. But then we have this whole Tuck rule, and then the birth of Tom Brady. If that would have been ruled a fumble and the Raiders recovered, we may never have had the Patriots dynasty or the Tom Brady dynasty. He may never be considered the GOAT. Who knows? It's a what-if game. But the Patriots probably don't win that game and probably don't continue through the postseason. I am suing Nick Anderson. My 11-year-old self is suing Nick Anderson for missing free throws in Game 1 of the 1995 NBA Finals against the Houston Rockets. That could have been my first championship as a sports fan for a particular team. Yes, Green Bay did it shortly afterwards. But my Orlando Magic, the diehard Orlando Magic fan in me as a kid, could have had an NBA championship, but I am suing Nick Anderson for missing those free throws and causing us to lose that game and then getting swept by the Rockets. Because what happened after that? Jordan took over again. Speaking of the NBA, I'm suing the NBA for allowing all these transition threes and travels and flops and, well, a whole lot of other things that are going wrong in the NBA. That is just, it's painful to watch. I'm suing Aaron Rodgers for turning into what he's turned into. I mean, come on, dude. Did you not see what happened with Favre? Could have been the same thing. Could have been. I mean, come on. What went on these last few years? Why? You are and for having to talk about him non-stop. Always in the news. It's like, oh, eye rolls. I mean, I'm suing for like eye fatigue for the amount of eye rolls I had to go through by like, what is he going to say on Tuesdays? And some of that time wasted listening to it. I am suing that I believe the 1972 Olympic basketball team should have won a gold medal. If you don't know the history of that game, they should have won it. Doug Collins should have a gold medal. I don't think any member still has accepted the silver medal. The Soviet Union was given the gold medal in the 72 Olympic gold medals after a controversial ending. They were given another shot to like inbound and get a play in because they never reset the clock. Or the whole reset clock issue sort of thing. It's also called as the Munich Massacre. Or the Olympics also saw the Munich Massacre, where 8 terrorists invaded the Olympic Village too. But looking at that 1972 basketball, Doug Collins should have a gold medal from that. That team, that 1972 team, should have a gold medal. Those are some of the cases that I'm suing for sports court. Some other ones we're adding out here from some listeners. Tony Mandrick and T. Buck for fraud. Tony Mandrick and Terrell Buckley for fraud. That's a good one. Doc Rivers and the current version of the Bucks should also be sued. I like that too. That's a good one. That's a good one. What else do we got? Keep those coming. We'll get to some of those coming up here in just a little bit. Come on, Morgs.
Hey, good morning, Kasper. How are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. I agree with your Aaron Rodgers suing because he just created more drama and problems. It's like, can't you just be good and talented and play the game and not muddle it all up by being yourself?
Mm-hmm.
But if you were going to take the other side of the coin, instead of suing people for things, if there are like, let's do one for each sport, basketball, football, baseball, one play that you wish you could have made. Because you hang on to the bad plays or say this would have been a game changer. Are there good plays that you wish you would have made? Like you want to be the guy that play.
That I would change?
No, that you would say if you could hang your hat on one play and you could say, all right, this is going to be my legacy. This is the play I would have liked to have made in football. What game, what play? Like a Hail Mary.
That would have changed the outcome of a game?
Yeah.
Could go to the 07-08 NFC Championship game. That you and I
was there. Yeah. I remember that.
One of those plays.
That's kind of where my mind first went.
I would have been maybe Tremont Williams and jumping on that fumbled punt return and then securing a field goal to win the game at the end. That's just saying. Or maybe Favre not throwing the interception. Something like that.
Yeah, How often do you revisit past plays in your...
A lot.
Like if you're just sitting in traffic or something?
I play what if all the time.
Okay.
I play what if all the time.
Sports, life, or both?
Oh, both.
You play what if in life?
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
I get in my head all the time.
You shouldn't do it, man. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Easier said than done.
Okay, so that's your what if for football. Now, what play, is there a baseball play that you would have said, all right, I'm the guy?
I wouldn't have gave up the home run to Pete Alonso last year.
Okay.
In the playoffs for the Brewers.
So it goes back to that moment.
Yeah.
All right.
I would have been a better version of Devin Williams at that point.
2.0?
Yeah.
Williams 2.0?
Yeah.
What about basketball? Anything there on the courts?
Yeah. Nick Anderson, make your free throws in 1995.
You have them on the tip of your tongue, man. Even 10 years deep, you're going back a decade?
Oh, that's longer. It's 95. That's 30 years ago.
Oh my gosh, don't remind me. You're
Yeah.
right. Shows
That's
you how much
30
I-
years ago.
Okay, so what about your life? What from the Chronicles of Dan Kasper would you have changed?
Probably would have hit another hole in one. I don't know.
He's staring off into space daydreaming.
Second hour on this Wednesday morning, kicking off right now. A big thanks for tuning in wherever, however you're tuning in from. We got a lot. I gotta spit out that cough drop there. Got a lot of you chiming in so far with our fun little topic of the day, with that NFL fan that is suing the NFL for $100 million for Shedeur Sanders' slide in the draft for emotional distress. You as a fan, what would you sue for? And a lot of you chiming in on this one. Keep them coming. We're going to put together. If we have a lawyer listening, let us know if you take any of these to court for us. Pro bono. Pro bono, of course. Nick's saying, I'm suing the 97-98 Packers for being 11.5-point favorites to the Super Bowl and losing to old man Elway. Also suing the Brewers losing to the Dodgers when they were up 2-0 in that series and should have been 3-0. Timmy is suing the MLB. Gant was pulled off the base. Josh, with probably our most popular one, also mentioning the 2015 Badger Duke game. I'm suing Coach K for yelling at the refs at half and getting Duke all the calls after halftime. And that dirty dog, Grayson Allen, for having a career game versus Wisconsin. The title game, I have severe depression from this game to this day. Ryan in Fall Creek says Brewers, pursuing Brewers, having a promising season just to get axed in the first playoff series. So we got a few on Facebook here too. Let me bring that up. Brian on Facebook taking Tony Mandrich over Barry Sanders, Rich Campbell over Ronnie Lott, 4th and 26, Fail Mary, Jerry Rice, no catch. So 4th and 26, Jerry Rice, Fail Mary have all been very popular ones too. Dave saying played zone defense in the Kevin King penalty during the fourth quarter of the 2020 FC Championship game at Lambeau against Brady. Was there and had the longest ride home ever after that night. So keep those coming. I think I actually had a couple on Twitter too. Let me bring it. Yes, Jacob says suing Farr for throwing a pick in the NFC Championship game. I think you could sue Farr for a lot of picks back in the day, if we're being honest. Also saying suing NFL for not calling pass interference in the Packers-Bucks NFC Championship game in the first half, then calling it in the second half, I think is what that's supposed to say. So keep those coming. Again, you can hit us up on the video streams or hit us up with the text or on social media. Also, it is a Trash Talk Wednesday. Somebody else besides C-Bomb with the lame dad jokes can you get a chance to trash talk about your rival or the team that you dislike the most, but keep it clean so that we can mention it on the air. You could do so by hitting us up with a text at 715-830-1912, or again commenting on the video streams. If you have any picks for stock reports, whose stock is rising, whose stock is falling, you can let us know that as well. In case you're just waking up and getting going, we mentioned it already before last hour, but George Pickens is traded, not to the Packers, though, which was a rumor before the draft, but George Pickens is being sent to the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys get him and a 6th-round pick in 2027. Steelers get a 2026 3rd-round pick and a 2027 5th-round pick in return. So there you have it. We'll get back to some more baseball talk. Brewers first pitch for today's game, getaway day, 12:10. Coverage will begin at 11:35 this morning. So we'll get back to that game and take a look at it coming up here a little bit later on. Hoops wise, Timberwolves falling in game 1 to the Warriors last night. Cavaliers taking a 0-2, or I should say Pacers taking a 2-0 lead over the Cavaliers after they hit Tyrese hit a game-winning 3 last night. So Pacers up 2-0 over the top-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers. Every lower seed has won so far in the NBA playoffs. And last night in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Carolina picking up a game 1 victory over Washington in overtime, and then you had the Edmonton Oilers taking down the Vegas Golden Knights 4-2. Edmonton leading that series 1-0. 1-0. So, Blue Bertoti, I'd file against Harvey Keene on behalf of my mom for negligent bullpen management in Game 7 of the 82 World Series. My mom was pregnant, locked in, and nearly went into premature labor when McClure got shelled. I've had Brewer-induced anxiety since before I had a Social Security number. It's been womb-deep trauma ever since. See, Blue Bertoti gets the assignment right now. He's had a couple of good ones. So that Blue Bertoti gets the assignment. He gets the A right now. So yes, Luke, would you chime in on
That one's the winner.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done. Thank you. That's the best one we're gonna get this morning. But wow.
That's a good one.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I can't exactly argue with that either. That is very specific, and I think, again, I'm also not a lawyer, but he's got some evidence.
Yep.
I'll start throwing in your legal terms there. Wowzers. I think, is it still that bar around that the Keens used to own? Can you try to get like collateral or something on that now? Or
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
So we do have on the video feed Steve Bartman. We have a very random one. I guess it makes sense here, but Jeff says Drew Henson for foregoing his senior year as a quarterback at Michigan to play baseball, allowing Tom Brady to play his senior year. If that doesn't happen, Tom Brady is never heard of. I don't know. Patriots did draft Matt Castle, and he was a career backup at USC. So who knows? Never say never at that point.
Hey, Kevin O'Connell could have had a heck of a career otherwise. You never know.
So what would I know? You're not. What would you? It could be. It doesn't have to be Wisconsin sports. It could be overall sports.
Norm Green.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is with my fandom, a lot of it's just like, really, you guys, you just suck at the wrong time.
Now, to be fair, we did have a former friend that used to work here. Not that Norm. Same.
We actually literally had a person here who was named Norm Green.
So not him. If you're listening, Norm, not you.
Norm, not you. We know you had nothing to do with moving the North Stars. Okay.
Yeah. That we know of.
That we know of. Yes.
Yes. So
yeah,
that would be
a way
to
go on a new life. Yeah. Anyway, so
that's your top one.
That's the Norm Green is absolutely, and you're dealing with someone who's had his fair share of Vikings tragedy.
I thought maybe you'd sue Drew Pearson.
Ooh, you raise a good point with that one. Because at least with the North Stars, they were replaced with the Wild. Say what you will about their on-ice performance. That's a way better franchise overall. It's way more competent. I mean, honestly, the Twin Cities ended up with a better outcome with a 7-year gap, but it kind of worked out better for him. Now that you say Drew Pearson, though, because they could have won the Super Bowl that year, and that was a push-off.
How about suing Morton Anderson?
No, that's if I had to sue anyone on that one, it's Denny Green. And there's enough stuff that went wrong. That's kind of like suing Brandon Bostic for the 2014 NFC Championship game. That's the one you can point to. But there was so much else going on. More people that did other stuff. So I wouldn't sue him.
What about Favre for throwing across the field when you could have kicked a blanket field goal? You know,
I'm not sure if that field goal would have worked, but now that you say that, is this a blatant excuse to bring up the Paul Allen general crescendo and then sudden burst of anger when he's like, "Hey, you got it." Yeah, we know what happened there. Yeah, there's a lot of decent choices in there. Gosh, these states share a remarkable amount of sports ineptitude. Potential legal worthy, except not even remotely legal worthy suing opportunities.
What about suing Nate Poole?
I mean, respect, I guess. I should probably sue one of
Brad Childress, Mike Tice,
Chili, one of the 800 way like D- grade cornerbacks that the Vikings had around that era.
Christian Ponder.
Ooh, yeah. Could we do like a class action lawsuit?
See, this
collectively
is also
against the state.
Yeah, this is actually it's a Trash Talk Wednesday. I'm just giving you I'm giving you names, and that's my trash talk towards you.
Pretty much.
just
Well, and the
all
thing
that,
is,
so
well, and I could trash talk that state out too because I don't even live there. So like I could just sue them for like emotional. What? So what was the official thing that fan is suing for? Sanders.
$100 million for emotional distress.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could sue collectively the state of Minnesota sports teams.
Yeah. Emotional well-being. I'm sorry.
Okay, emotional well-being.
So,
yeah,
caused emotional distress and trauma to the plaintiff as a fan and a consumer.
Going back to in my case, going back to 1992. So we'll go post Twins World Series. Leave out the links, obviously, because they've actually done their fair share. I could do that probably. That might be the broader approach to this. And I don't even live there, so I mean, hey, if they end up, having to make money or whatever, I'm over here in Wisconsin, so I can just go ahead and sue like crazy on that.
Yeah.
So what's yours?
Oh, I've got my list.
You've got a list.
Yeah, I've got. So first of all, Ron, he says he was a Michigan Fab Five growing up. I would sue Weber for taking that 6th time out.
Ooh.
So mine, I'll go through again. Mine was the same. Some of them, I had 11, but it's a running list. I don't have a cap. I don't have a minimum right now. Fail Mary, of course. Jerry Rice fumble, of course. I'm suing for the Tuck rule because if that's a fumble, we may not have Tom Brady in the Patriots dynasty after that. The 1972 Olympic basketball team should have the gold medal.
Ooh, nice old school one.
I had to throw that one in there. I'm suing Ron Wolf for making us go through the Ray Rhodes era when we could have probably had Andy Reid.
Ron Wolf.
Yeah.
Wow.
All roads don't lead to championships. I'm suing David Stearns for trading Josh Harder in the middle of a playoff hunt. I'm suing Ted Thompson, RIP, for not drafting TJ Watt when we had the chance to. I'm suing the NBA for allowing transition threes, flops, travels, and pretty much a lot of stuff that's going on in the NBA right now. I'm suing Aaron Rodgers for turning into what he's turned into right now. The Badgers in the national championship with Duke, which is a very popular one. And I'm also suing Nick Anderson for missing free throws in game 1 of the 95 NBA Finals.
Yeah, that's a sore spot for you.
So that's just a few.
Are there more?
Oh, I'm sure there's more. There's a lot more that I'm not thinking of. I like the this was another one earlier for Blue Bertoni. That is probably on my list too. I put a lawsuit against Bob Slowick for emotional distress, specifically from the soul-crushing 4th and 26 call back in 2004 against the Eagles. Defensive play call malpractice, and I still have PTSD every time the Packers get into a 3rd or 4th and long on defense. He's right, because how many of us are sitting there 4th and 11? Yeah, I'm not comfortable. And I think it points back to the PTSD of 4th and 26. We're never comfortable, even if it's 4th and 25. If it's 4th and 26 to this day, we think back to that playoff game against the Eagles.
The thing is, it's more likely
Freddie Mitchell.
It's more likely to happen. Wow, Freddie Mitchell.
These hands. I want to thank these hands.
Now, and we're all, I think all of us listening are collectively old enough to remember the Freddie Mitchell era. He's become quite the underrated trash talker, or at least underrated, like massively egotistical player. But a lot of people forget. But if you lived the Freddie Mitchell era, you realize 4th down, like 4th and longs are going to become less and less secure, given how often teams go for 4th down, which means it's not like there's a certain limit and you stop succeeding. Teams are succeeding more and more on 4th down, so it's worse now. Oh boy, you got a lot. You're basically the Gloria Allred of legal scholars here. Like, you're in front of every single thing.
Yeah, I really hope that we got a lawyer, let's say. That goes back to the conversation I've had with Brandon. You got to have a guy for something.
Yeah.
It's the one area I don't have a guy for.
You don't have a lawyer?
No. Maybe I should get one. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, I got a Dr. Crow.
Right.
Yeah, I got that.
And find somebody who actually thinks you could legitimately sue for sports.
And not necessarily for this, but maybe, if we have some sports legal advice, like, okay, maybe we can make that a segment.
Yeah. Sports legal advice.
Sports cases, where we present a sports case.
I mean,
I would honestly like to know, obviously a lawyer took this case. Are they thinking this is just free money for me?
Yes.
I mean, I'll take this. This is free money for me. If you're willing to just waste complete money and getting laughed at But as a lawyer, you got to be laughed at in court. But as a lawyer too, you probably are pretty immune to public perception of you. So
I mean, is he texting all his lawyer friends like, check this out?
Or maybe he's a lawyer himself and he's filing it on behalf of himself. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, there do seem to be some really dense lawyers that way. At the risk of inviting a lawsuit, would you want to call the segment "There Will Be Lawyers"?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Of course, Andrew Brandt's online enough. He might actually find that, and well, then there will
Can
be
it be
lawyers.
like where, you can just get ordained online in minutes? Maybe there's a way I could do that for just like general lawyer-ish.
Those fly-by-night legal schools?
Lawyership. Whatever, very generic. I know we got a couple of, well, we got a few ordained, but a couple, C-Bomb, man of the cloth.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That's one thing, but
Yep.
We
We do have a judge, the Honorable. Where's the Honorable Travis C-Bomb? Get a hold of the Honorable Travis. Maybe he could be our guy.
Okay, see, well, I mean, that's getting
Yeah.
into legal territory here, so
Yeah.
I would think they'd know a thing or two about
Yep.
the legal landscape.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go next level here. Which team are you most likely going to sue because they will either do something or be involved with something in the next calendar year that will make you want to sue them for sports emotional well-being infliction and harm?
Bucks. Because they're going to trade Giannis.
Okay. You're already like starting to file the legal briefs in
Mhm.
anticipation of
Mhm.
the trade.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. They're going to trade
probably-
Giannis.
Yeah, that's probably the right answer.
Brewers are always an easy one for people because of, not spending money and all that sort of, which I'm surprised nobody's actually really said that at this point. But
And the way this season's going, I mean, they might, I don't know. This might be a year off from legal issues. Packers probably have to have another 4th and 15, which is another possibility. So
4th and 26. Not
right,
4th
but
and
I'm
15, 4th
still.
and-
It'll happen like 3 or 4 times.
Mhm.
Maybe can they top it like 4th and 31?
We don't want to forecast that negative energy out there.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't want to forecast that. Otherwise, if you're going to continue to do that, I could just say Blair Walsh.
Yeah, I know. It's well, I'm like immune to that at this point. Still suing though.
Yeah.
Could be Luke Fickell. Badgers once again underwhelm.
Or
Chris
has they said that one yet with Luke Fickell for there's got to be a term for that.
Or is it Chris McIntosh? I mean, who's
Yeah.
really responsible for a lot of this
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
That's a
would
good one,
Barry
too.
have done this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well could be.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sadly, I'm sure someone wants to sue Greg Gard. That might be my preemptive countersue.
mm-hmm.
Sue the person that sues Greg Gard. Like, no, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I won't go down that road. I was going to say somebody who just said something recently. Oh, it's a grind my gear. I'm not suing. But Adam Schefter apparently was critical of the Packers not doing the draft inside Lambeau Field. Did you see that?
I did not. I mean, that's always been a bit of a curiosity for me. Like, I was like, really? You're just going to have a few fans in there? Which, I mean, on the other hand, would that have logistically worked out?
No, I don't think it would have.
You're limited. You would not. I mean, at any given moment, you would not have gotten.
The way it was set up, it was perfect. Okay.
Mhm.
It's the vibe of Packers, right? It's
Mhm.
the tailgating in a parking lot, for crying out loud.
That does make sense. And again, like at first, when you think the draft at Lambeau Field, you're thinking football history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, my first thought when I saw Lambeau Field was like untouched and everything was around. I'm like, wait. You got to be in Lambeau Field. But logically.
And here's the other thing. Do I want people on that grass? Ask any high school football coach. I know I didn't have the only one that had signs up out of football season that said, "Don't touch the grass."
Oh, when I went on a tour of Lambeau
they still have that. Don't touch the grass.
That is a no-no.
And I know they have concerts, but come on now. We don't need stupid people running around on there.
Right.
So
Lambeau. Yeah, that don't be that dude.
And then how are they going to get out of there? They're not going to go through the tunnels, and that just would have been a mess.
You would have had to, in order to get anywhere, and I know having fans on the field would add a few maybe like another 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to get close to the, let's just say, regular capacity, you would have to have fans in the club seats, in the suites.
And especially what happened Friday. It rained.
Uh-huh.
A wet, muddy Lambeau with fans being idiots on there.
Now, that does bring up classic Lambeau from like I'm thinking like the 1965.
But then we're fast forwarding to December. Why is our field all crappy? Oh, okay.
Because
April.
we had the draft. Yeah. You would have to have planned for that and have the money to replace it, and then replace it from late April to July.
So that is literally the only negative thing that I've heard somebody say about it is from Adam Schefter. Go away. Just go. Go accumulate some more information.
At least in his case, I will. At least he was saying it could have been done different at Lambeau.
But they still had fans in it.
Right.
Yeah.
I really would hate it if someone was like, "Why are they in Green Bay? Why aren't they down in like Miami?" Have we heard anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
Beyond like stupid fan, have we heard like an actual big sports person be like, "Why are we in Green Bay?" Has that happened? I didn't catch anything of the sort.
Yeah.
I'm pleasant. I don't want to say surprised, but I'm reassured that didn't happen.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a quick break. Keep these coming though. Bloomer Tony, I don't know if you could top your 82 Brewers one though. That's pretty darn good. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Looking for top quality meats with a hometown touch? Well, since 1990, Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire has been your trusted local butcher. Mike's Star Market's sausages, brats are handcrafted on site with minimal processing, delivering unbeatable flavor. Plus, they've got so many different flavor options that you will never run out of new ones to try. Need custom cuts or venison processing too when it's hunting season? Hey, they offer that. Warmer weather is here, so it's time to fire up the grills and head to Mike's Star Market right here in Eau Claire. And speaking of firing up the grills, if you're looking for maybe that perfect, and I mean perfect, Mother's Day gift this weekend, what better gift than to say, honey, I'm going to do more cooking around the house. I'm going to go get myself a new grill from Home Oasis. I'm going to get myself a new pellet grill from Home Oasis. We were using the Trek grill when we were at the draft. So if you got a kiddo that goes on ball tournaments and, or does a lot of traveling, maybe camping and such, and you just want to fire up the grill for a little tailgating, that Trek grill from Home Oasis in Chippewa Falls is the perfect solution for that. So give them a visit, 11293 County Highway X in Chippewa Falls, or you can check them out online at homeoasiswi.com. Chad, not C-Bomb, different Chad, also says, how about the 12-foot baseline jumper that big dog Glenn Robinson missed at the end of the game of the Eastern Conference Finals, whatever year that was?
2001.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yep.
That's a good one. So, to the individual who said none of these would hold up in court, we know that's why we call it for fun. That's why we call it for fun. It's a fun segment, okay? Not a literal thing.
It'd be funny if one of them really did hold up.
Yeah.
Like, what if a judge actually was like, yeah. Like, I'd probably be like, wait, no, wait, this was a joke. Wait, you really? We won?
Maybe the judge is a closet Colorado Buffalo fan too. Never, who knows?
Is this like that judge shopping that sometimes happens? Like, we're going to go to Amarillo, Texas now, or something like, wait a minute, but this is in Wisconsin. What?
Yeah.
You can judge shop.
You know what? We can also have a little fun when we talk about sports, and that's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
And quite a few of you chiming in here. We got another one here up on. This was a good one. I remember this. Brinks saying not letting the Badgers snap the ball and letting time run out when we had 12 seconds to kick a game-winning field goal, then running off the field once clock hit 0. I remember that one too. That's a good one. So keep these coming. Keep them on coming here. Also, it is a Trash Talk Wednesday, so you got one day only to trash talk against your rival. And that includes Cubs fans. If you want to chime in and say something to us Brewers fans, as long as it's clean, I'll say it. And not derogatory or anything like that. That will get me in
derogatory?
trouble.
So basically they can't say anything?
Oh,
I mean, that's probably how Cubs fans roll.
Oh,
I'm defending the Brewers fans.
I didn't say it. Luke said it.
Yeah.
Direct your grievances towards him. So
direct him to the Cardinals. That's really. I mean, come on.
You feel? No, I don't feel bad for him. So
no,
I feel bad for your T-Wolves for dropping game 1 last night, though.
At least it's just one. Compared to like
just one, I mean,
it is. It's okay, but this is this Timberwolves team. Like, it totally makes sense that they have like Ant can't get a basket to start.
Yeah.
Let's keep breaking threes. Could I sue whomever came up with a 3-point shot?
Yeah.
Like the way this is going in this league now, like.
So you're kind of with me on transition threes.
Oh, like, I mean, at one point when. It was like some teams did it. Okay, and I get it. Analytics. Okay, yeah, and I'm a data person. I don't have a degree, but I agree with the idea of, well, the data shows you what you want to do. Okay, great. Stop shooting the freaking threes if you can't make the basket. Come on, the game sucks. So yeah, it wasn't good last
Did the
night,
T-Wolves just miss like 100 threes against the Lakers and still won?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Like they've had a what was the stat I saw? Like 15% threes over 2 games now. Like this is like all-time worst territory. But doesn't it seem like every 4 days some team sets an all-time worst 3-point stat or something like that? And yet, I can still see them winning this series. And that's not just because of Steph Curry's injury. However long he's going to be out. I don't know if he's going to be out. I'm not even sure if he's going to be out for game 2, honestly. It's still too early. It's a strained hamstring. It's probably going to inhibit him, at least early on. If
Just tell him to sit in the corner.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do anything else. Just give it to him and he'll still shoot it. Just give it to him.
Well, he probably could, actually.
Then play 4 on D because that's all you guys do is shoot threes and you miss them. So you can get away with it. Right? I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not. That's kind of how the game actually is. At least that game was. But this Wolves team goes hot and cold. This is like game 2 against the Lakers. You're like, guys, you do know this game also counts towards the playoffs, right? Okay, granted, I was quite convinced that the Wolves were going to lose to the Lakers in game 5. But then again, I think literally everyone was. And then the Wolves ended up winning the game, in large part because the Lakers were not that good, and the Wolves tried to give them the game still, but it kind of worked out that way. I feel very confident they're going to win game 2, and then after that, we'll see. But it was really embarrassing. Like, I was seeing people that I don't normally see comment about the Timberwolves being like, wow, that was one of the worst things I've ever seen in sports. I was not watching the game, and it probably made my life better.
So somebody actually was talking about the Timberwolves.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
there was plenty of Wolves talk. Now, this is in my Facebook world, so we're getting to like Minnesotans and stuff like that.
Nationally, though,
right? So you mean they didn't spend at least a quarter of the game talking about the Lakers?
Right. Yeah.
During the Lakers Wolves series, Van Lathan was on the Bill Simmons podcast. They're talking about got into the ant is next thing. So that's been an underlying storyline, and understandably so. And I forget exactly what connections Van Lathan has within the NBA, but I think it's kind of Simmons-esque in that, like, he knows a lot of people, so he's got enough. If he's going to say something, it's going to reflect opinions. He said, the NBA is either not ready or doesn't want, at least for now, to be the face of the league. And there's I can't remember where that story was a few days ago of like, Edwards is going to be the face whether he wants it or not. There's probably, if as much as anyone can believe the NBA script stuff, the NBA is easily the most conspiracy prone of all the leagues. Well, definitely in America. Maybe you can get into FIFA territory, and there actually is a lot of shambolic stuff going on. But if you were to take the conspiracy thing to the level of dictating who should be what, apparently there are a fair number of people in the front offices of the front office of the NBA does not want Edwards being the face. I'm like, well, then who do you want as the face? He ticks off a lot of things, and yeah, he can cause some problems, but it's not like he has legal issues. He hasn't done anything like legitimately controversial. I guess that's a subjective thing. So you could say maybe what would that be? But apparently the NBA would just as soon right now keep doing LeBron and Steph. They missed out their matchup, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much. When are they going to embrace it? Because at some point they're going to have to. Can't have 55-year-old LeBron James to be talking about anymore.
I'm actually surprised. Surveyor Sam finally chiming in on a couple of lawsuits, and I'm a little surprised he's in your corner on one of these. I'm a little disappointed, Surveyor, especially since it's Trash Talk Wednesday too. But he says probably past the statute of limitations, but the 75 divisional round, Dallas, Minnesota.
Wow,
that was offensive pass interference on Drew Pearson. How dare you, Surveyor? How dare you? I will strip you of your Kasper Classic title belt because of that.
But he is ripping on the Cowboys, so at least he's going for a similar enemy of the Packers. See, now if he were calling out pass interference on a Packer,
no, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
You realize the Vikings could have lost their 5th Super Bowl as a result of this too. There is no guarantee.
But you know what is a guarantee? That they didn't go.
That is true.
He also says the Tuck rules single-handedly made every single NFL fan suffer for 20 years from Brady. I want compensation. So.
Who was the author? I'm blanking on his name. The author of we had the interview, and like he did the book on Drew Pearson, or he had the connection to the Cowboys. a few years ago.
That we had?
Yeah. And remember, I asked him about Drew Pearson, and
yeah.
and he like laughed and he was like, "Yeah, that was
Not Ian O'Connor.
No,
was
it
it
was
Gary?
Gary sounds familiar. Like I'm blanking, and this is a guy I've kind of known. He's a national author, he's really good. But like because
Gary Myers.
Yes.
Okay.
And I again was either he had done the book on Drew Pearson or something like that. And I'm like, so was that pass interference? And why are you denying it? Was like my question. It was all tongue in cheek. And he basically admitted, yeah, I mean, yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was offensive pass interference. There was no instant replay at the time. Of course, I also like to say if you watch any of those games, in fact, I remember one time I brought in the DVD of that game just to play it in the background of something.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things in that one game alone that aren't illegal plays, but things that would totally have been overturned. That happened all the time in the NFL back then. Shoves, people dropping the ball, but it's called a touchdown. We're like, oh, there it is. It's a touchdown. And nobody cares about it.
Yeah.
There is a lot of stuff that was missed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's I'm looking at some he did write How About Them Cowboys.
Yep, that was it.
But yeah, a lot of other like Brady and Belichick, What's a Giant books in there too. So do we have I thought I had one more. I do have one more before we have to take a quick break. Where'd it go? It was on Facebook, I think. Let me bring it up. I got too many windows up. Brandon Bostic attempted to catch the outside kick. That's from Kyle on Facebook. So all right, keep them coming. Also, Trash Talk Wednesday. Come on, Surveyor. I know you got a good trash talk. Make it up with a good trash talk, Surveyor. Otherwise,
no, he's just going to bring the trash talk. He's like, I'm not making this up. I'm going to trash talk you.
I'm incredibly disappointed in Surveyor right now. So, all right, let's take a quick break. We got stock reports too coming up just past 8:00. We'll hit that up. Again, Brewers back at it in just a few hours from now. Stick around. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Speaking of the VFW, reminder this Saturday, May 10th, 3 p.m. to however long the party goes, they're going to have a meat raffle. Proceeds are going to go to the Eau Claire American Legion baseball program. There are many fees for families, and all the proceeds will go to this worthy cause. This will be a fun event for all, food and drink specials, coaches, working some raffles, plus vintage apparel will be available to purchase. So this Saturday, who doesn't love a good meat raffle in Wisconsin? This Saturday, May 10th at the VFW Post 305, located on Star Avenue. Get on down there and support Eau Claire American Legion baseball. We've got Surveyor, kind of a weak trash talk. I'll say it right now, but I'll read what he said. He's like, you want trash talk? The champions of the Kasper Classic, they did. I have yet to see a picture, so I don't know if I believe this yet. Mm-hmm. So we do, our thing is the mini title belts, okay? Mm-hmm. Apparently they made full-size ones for themselves. I've yet to see this, so I don't know if I believe it. But he said actually made our title belts full size, and we will be wearing them all day at the Classic just to rub it in everyone's faces. Rub it in everyone's that you are not that good. We will be smashing drives, plugging greens, and sinking putts all morning on the 1st of August, 2025. I would say best of luck to everyone, but no one wants to take us on. Man up, everyone, fill out those spots and prove me wrong. I really don't think anyone wants me to be back-to-back winners, because I will never let it go. Yes, please. I guess that maybe I have to up my game too this year.
Yeah.
Let's play the training montage from Rocky IV and get everybody motivated. So Surveyor is essentially a Drago in this case.
Oh, that's good.
You know,
pro-Soviet Union. There you go. This is a good time for that. I think I just did some trash talk right there. Wow.
I must break you. Everybody who has signed up, just picture Surveyor as Drago right
Wear
now.
some tennis shoes running around on snow-covered mountains.
And you gotta wear the golf spikes and do that. Put
Yes.
Surveyor's picture in the mirror. If you know your Rocky movies, put it in the mirror. Go through your training montage, and then when you're all jacked up and pumped up, you grab that picture, you crumple it up, and you toss it to the side. I'll even provide you a good picture of Surveyor if you want.
Can we blast some Living in America when everything gets underway?
R.I.P. James Brown.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
R.I.P. Apollo Creed. Let's be real.
That too.
Let's be real.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers and
both
Apollo
now.
Creed. That's what
Gosh,
I said. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Dang. Both literally and figuratively.
R.I.P.
Oh.
R.I.P. Not many left. Even Paulie's gone.
Sly's still here.
Sly is still here.
But he's getting up there.
Is Sly going to be the next Chuck Norris that is just going to be here forever?
He turned 79.
Yeah.
2 months from yesterday.
Isn't Chuck like 125?
No, 3 months from yesterday. Oh, 2 months. July 6th. What is Chuck Norris's age?
How old is Chuck? 85.
He doesn't look a day over 41.
85 years young, though.
Wow.
I don't know what he does, but I want that secret.
Of a ranger.
And the unsuspected stranger had better known the truth of wrong from right.
Oh, gosh. We need an excuse to play that theme.
Mm-hmm.
Or what do you need an excuse to play that theme is really the question.
Never. I don't know how old this clip was. I saw Sylvester and Arnold talking. They were asked this question: who's on the action movie Mount Rushmore? If you two are on it, who are the other two? I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because 80s, right? You got to go to the 80s. Schwarzenegger put Clint Eastwood on there, and Sly put Bruce Willis. So they each picked one. I don't know if I'd agree with Clint, but I would think Chuck's got to be in there. I could get the Bruce Willis one. I know there's
80s action.
Well, it doesn't have to be 80s, but I'm thinking like that was like the genre of like action movies, right?
Yeah.
Rambo and Terminator and all that. And Sly and Arnold definitely are on there.
Well, and the Braddock missing in action movies, so that's where the bulk of the Chuck Norris ones. The goat scene of him coming out of the water.
Yeah.
Everyone's laughing at them, and then very slow motion kills everybody.
Yeah. I think I would probably go Chuck and Bruce, but there's a push for Tom Cruise.
Okay. Tom Cruise has built up his action movie rep as the years
has.
have gone on.
He has.
Would not have said that in the 80s at all, but
Mm-mm.
with time, that's changed.
But I think Chuck deserves to be on there, doesn't he?
See, let's be real.
I mean, just look at the Expendables movies, and there you go. There's your nominees, probably.
2012, okay.
Yeah.
See, the thing that throws me off with regard to Chuck Norris is that when he was at his peak of action movies, this would be in like TV Guide. And if anyone's old enough to remember this, in TV Guide at the back, they'd have the list of movies that are airing on any of the channels, and they'd have the stars. There were a lot of Chuck Norris movies, and they pretty much were all 1 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can say that for a lot of action movies, though. To be fair.
Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal movies.
I saw Steven Seagal.
I forgot Steven Seagal had a music career too.
Oh god.
I saw that posted on from one of I think Ryan Nanny, Celebrity Hot Tub.
Mm-hmm. There's apparently a rivalry between Norris and Steven Seagal. I saw this. There was like an old Surface clip. And I should find it again, but Chuck Norris was like asked about Steven Seagal, and you could tell like there was just like, no, the guy's got like no moves. like he didn't say that, but that was the gist. He would say is like, yeah, no, martial art, no, he's no. Somehow, so I mean, if Chuck Norris doesn't like him, how can America like him?
I'm Team Chuck on that one, but Steven Seagal, I don't think has a lot of people that he.
I mean, he's one of the worst Saturday Night Live hosts of all time.
Yeah, A, the show wasn't good. B, you ask behind the scenes, they're like, he sucked.
Yeah.
If anyone wants a real fun time, look up the Steven Seagal music part of his discography, because apparently he can play guitar, which is true. His second album, Mojo Priest.
Here, I'll play this. I got really quick to play this clip from Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal, and such. Okay. All right, so here we go, really quick. Yeah, see, there you go.
Dick Cavett on the interview there. Wow.
So if Chuck disses Steven Seagal, America should diss Steven Seagal.
Wow,
that's my point of reference.
That's pretty harsh there. I did, as I was doing the Chuck Norris, Steven or Sly Stallone Google search.
Yeah,
I came across the picture of Stallone, Norris, Tommy Morrison, and Stage Stallone. Circa, I'm gonna guess around 1990 or so.
Yeah.
So that's very much Rocky V territory.
Yeah.
Just forget that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take Chuck Norris definitely over Steven Seagal any day.
Okay, so has Chuck got a spot on there? Who's the fourth? Bruce Willis, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal. We'll leave it to the voters.
Yes. Okay. The people's choice.
The people's choice. The people's choice. All right. Final hour coming up. We got stock reports. I think Surveyor's stock is going down for my stock reports right now.
Oof.
Because he calls Steven Seagal the greatest action star. Before giving compliments to the Vikings, and now this.
You're even starting to lose me now.
Come on.
And I'm the Vikings fan here in this room right now.
This crazy Wednesday continues this morning. I do think we got to go Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, the more I think about it, Bloodsport, Street Fighter, yeah, he's on there. He's on there for sure.
Yeah.
But all this talk's got me wanting to watch Over the Top now. You have yet to see that, have you?
No, I've not seen it.
The worst, but great movie. There are some really, it's a cult class. I think you can still watch it for free on YouTube.
I still like how they say that in the opening 2 paragraphs of Wikipedia before they get into the subsections, it says the film was a box office bomb with a hyperlink.
Who wouldn't want to watch a truck driver try to win an arm wrestling competition while also rekindling his relationship with his son? Yeah. It's drama, it's comedy, it's action all in one.
I know. There's a lot.
It's thriller. So yeah,
it's a veritable smorgasbord.
It is. Options. Not a bad soundtrack either. There's one song, I don't know names of songs. You know this, but there's
Sammy Hagar's on there, the Red Rocker.
There's one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Meet Me Halfway. Kenny Loggins.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Across the sky.
Yeah, Kenny Loggins. Come on.
So there's that. That was a hit. It was like a legit hit.
Oh gosh,
I love that there's the international poster with a dove and a semi truck and Sly with a sweatshirt sleeve just on his elbow.
I saw somebody again. I was on social media. Hey, this actually, I don't know what review. Where's this review coming from? Oh, this was Bloodsport. Never mind. I had Bloodsport up because I was looking at movies of that. That's actually 4.7. 4.7 out of 5 on looks like Google reviews. So
okay.
But no, I saw somebody on one of their semi trucks. Their paint scheme is Hawk.
Okay.
From Hawk, the name Sylvester Stallone's character in that movie. So don't know if the inside they had one of their one of those pull machines where he could work on his biceps like Sylvester did.
And yes, the full movie is for free on YouTube.
All right, I know what I'm doing this afternoon. Heck, I know what I'm doing in my office after I'm done with this. Maybe.
Heck, I know what I'm doing literally right now.
Yep.
I'm gonna put the playback speed set to 2.
There you go.
We're gonna get through this. I can get through this. I could finish this movie before the end of the show. Let's see if we can pull this off.
Any guesses on how the movie ends?
See, now don't spoil it for me.
I will just say this. I'm not saying that you don't know who it happens to, but I will say that movie. Now, every time I do see somebody arm wrestling, I think about a certain thing that happens in there, and I think people who have watched the movie know what I'm talking about.
Funny thing also is if you're going to watch this at twice speed, see Sylvester Stallone looking really tough, but he's also moving really fast.
Don't say looking really tough. He is really tough.
Sylvester Stallone, tough.
Dude's got like cables in his shoulder because he was trying to like out bench Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day. So come on now.
Ooh.
Yo.
Pretty good start to this movie here.
It is.
Yes, y'all. You're going to be getting play-by-play of a twice speed over the top YouTube viewing here. That's the sports talk you came for.
We are looking for what would you take to court as a sports fan in honor of this John Doe who is suing the NFL for $100 million because his feelings were hurt about Shedeur Sanders falling in a draft. That's essentially what it is. His feelings were hurt. That is a lifetime Colorado Buffaloes football fan who has watched the last 2 years of Shedeur Sanders. He was hurt, emotional distress caused by the fall of his draft. So he is suing the NFL for $100 million and an apology for Shedeur falling. So in honor of that, what would you sue? As we all have heartbreak. We've all had emotional distress. If you're a sports fan, you've gone through it at some point. If you haven't, you're not a sports fan. All right. I think it's like a badge of honor. It's like cauliflower ear for wrestlers. You wear it with pride and dignity. You wear it. So what is it that you would sue from your sports fandom career? Got quite the list. And I'll add them all up to our marker board before we got to take it down and put it to the other studio when it's all said and done. So if you haven't chimed in yet, text it to us, 715-830-1912. Okay. So Surveyor sent me a picture of that title belt. Is it literally, Surveyor, you just extended the length of it? Is that all you did? I mean, the faceplate ain't bigger, it doesn't look like. I thought you were talking like straight up Hulk Hogan, WWE style here. I think he just extended the length of it. So still cool because then he can wear it. But
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I could extend a belt too. I've never.
Surveyor, you're getting some heaters here from the guy who can't trash talk, Luke.
No, I
over
can't.
here,
And
so.
I've got this stuff going too.
Yeah. Stock reports. Let's do some stock reports. Whose stock is rising? Whose stock is falling? Stock risers first. Who you got?
I'll say the Wild because finally now they can spend money. The Zach Parise, Ryan Suter salary cap inhibition is over now that they've been eliminated. Okay, so now going forward, they can spend money. Of course, then they got to actually be able to spend the money. They got to bring in the free agents. They got to make the right choices, everything that comes with that. There's an interesting point was made. I mentioned this before, the Worst Seats in the House podcast, Anthony LaPanta, Michael Russo. We talked about the dichotomy between local sports fans and local sports media and national sports media. And I think we see this a lot. Local sports media or state sports media will criticize it. Thing or two about that local team, not just like, hey, wow, the Brewers and they won a World Series back. Like, you have no idea what they're talking about. No, if they do. And they've praised the Wild for being able to accomplish what they've had with basically playing with $15 million less than every other NHL team because of that salary cap restriction since the two were let go, but then they were in salary cap hell. And being as competitive as they've been, of course, you ask Wild fans, and it's this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. And there's plenty to criticize. And a lot of local sports people over there will say that. That is done. I think the salary cap charge for like the next couple of years is like $1 million. So it doesn't really count anymore.
Yeah.
They can finally spend money. They've got plenty of talent. I do think Kirill Kaprizov's going to resign. They're going to make moves in the offseason now for sure. They should be, you don't want to say the top team, but they should be one of the top teams in the Western Conference over the next 3 years. As far as I'm concerned, they don't have that salary restriction. I know why it was done, but that also meant you're going to be inhibited because of what you did. That's finished. Their stock goes up just because they got money to spend that they didn't have for a while.
Mm-hmm. So you're feeling good about your Wild for the future? Are you confident they're actually going to like do something with it though?
I see that team. I do. Like if it were the Twins, that have no faith at all. Like, okay, here's your sheet. I think the Wild will actually want to spend. They have an owner that does want to win. He's like decent. Like, hey, can we, let's build a winning tradition here. Doesn't seem incompetent. Also doesn't seem Twins-esque of like, let's focus on how much money we can make. Yeah, they're going to spend, and their attendance was, again, really good this past year. They know there's a very passionate fan base that at the same time will not show up if they feel like the team's not doing enough for them. Because remember, the Wild had that really long sellout streak, and it stopped when the team started to be like, yeah, we're kind of so-so. Okay, well, you're not going to bring it? Well, we're not going to pay for the tickets. The environment there is good for wanting to try to compete. And they don't have to do that much more to be one of the best teams in the NHL. So they're going to do it. Of course, then the question comes, do they make the right choices? And that's the mystery of sports. How does it all go? Mm-hmm. We'll find out.
Yeah. I'm going to save my stock riser for last because I just changed mine due to the recent trash talk from Surveyor. Because I'm going to do something heading into break. So I'll start off with stock faller now. Okay, so we're going back and forth here.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah.
If catch my drift here. A little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind. I'll save it. I'm gonna call an audible right
now.
Wow,
this is getting
audible right now. Okay. Surveyor, hope you're gonna be listening here in the next few minutes.
Ooh.
Stock faller. I'm gonna go back to a gripe I had on Monday. I don't like basketball right now. I don't like the state of basketball right now. It stinks. Mm-hmm. Something bugged me watching a game over the weekend. Highlights of a game. I'll admit it. I didn't watch the full game. When the Indiana Fever were playing Brazil in a exhibition game in Iowa, and Caitlin Clark like barely crossed half court and shot up a 3, and they were already up 55 and made it. Cool, great. I just hate the style of basketball. To me, like I said on Monday, it's turning into a dude perfect trick shot sport. And to me, the stock of that sport is falling big time right now.
You're not alone on this.
I say what you want about what it was, at the score. That I think there are a lot of people that are beef like, okay, you're up 50, 55, and now it literally is turning into a dude perfect. How far can I make a shot? Cool. It's great. I'm not dissing her. She is the best player, one of the best players in women's basketball overall. I just hate the style of the play right now. Literally, you're going across half court and just putting it up, just shooting it. It's turning into dude perfect right now.
And then all the players that just keep shooting threes and breaking and, well, let's do it again.
Yeah.
I was very close to making like the 3-point shooting era the stock faller, but this is along those lines anyway. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah. I'm not against the 3-point shot. I'm against what it's turned the game into.
Yeah.
And the thing is, no, don't it? What's the point of extending it now? Everybody shoots it 5 feet behind it. What's the point of adding a 4-point shot? Because then more people are going to do it, and it's going to be more unbearable.
I've seen some other proposals. I think Ethan Strauss had a take on, or it was not Ethan Strauss. He commented on it. It was, I think maybe it was Jared Dubin or one of the NBA types had an interesting idea of how to redo the court. Like, I think it's like take out the wings, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't like just park in the corner and wait for the ball. And I think Strauss was like, I'm not sure if that would work, but we're thinking.
Yeah.
That's the point. Like this one, I actually do have a fair amount of faith that the front office NBA folks, Silver and company, well, we saw how he reacted to the All-Star game. They're thinking of something. The trick is, what's the right thing to do? There's a lot of things that could backfire, and that could make the game worse if you do this the wrong way. The game's not in the best spot. It could be in a worse spot if you do this wrong. It could be in a way better spot if you do it right.
Yeah.
So how do you get there? And it's not as easy as, honestly, I don't think it's as easy as what baseball was able to do. And there's still a lot of issues with offense. That's down. But they made some really good moves that made the sport better. This is a tougher one for the NBA.
Yeah.
And basketball, yeah, college basketball too. It's happening there too.
So I just saw this. I've actually got 3 stock risers now. 2 smaller ones, and then I'm calling out Surveyor as my stock riser.
Wait.
Just
what?
Hold on.
What?
So my first one was going to be Aaron Judge, just because, I mean, the dude is just, it pains me to say because he is a Yankee player, but he is my son's favorite player. Or, okay, according to him, maybe second or third. William Contreras is his favorite player. Then it's Christian Yelich. Then I think it's Aaron Judge. I don't know. It changes. Contreras is the consistent. But, by the way, my kid, who's going to be 8 next month, you would appreciate this as a music person.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, he got it in his mind. To listen to player walk-up songs.
Okay.
So he's been in his room with Alexa. Some of them I've had to like cut them off, be like, you need the clean version. And
these are introductions that they play. They don't play all 3 minutes of what?
And I guarantee you, if it's at AmFam Field, it's probably the clean version for a lot of those songs.
Yes.
Because his favorite player, William Contreras, is Not Like Us.
Oh, hey now.
Yeah. So we're
A minor.
Yeah, we're gonna maybe listen to the instrumental version of this. So, but that's kind of where he's at now.
That's a topic you want your kid to be involved with.
Yeah.
There you go.
And luckily, the only part he questioned, he's like, "Why does he say John Stockton in the beginning?" So, because he knows who
maybe
John
it's not
Stockton
so
is.
bad. He's got his attention elsewhere.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So, but no, Aaron Judge. I saw Jason Stark yesterday. Was talking about like he put out the WRC plus numbers and talking about, is he like the greatest right-handed hitter of modern era? just with some of the numbers. And when you put it in some of the numbers that he's at, it's like, holy crap. Like Aaron Judge is, and it's not just this year, it's the past 3 years. Like he's the only dude that's over 200. And we get, I think, so I'm guilty of this too, so hyper focused on like the home run balls and such. And yes, 12, but this guy has just consistently been doing it. And we talk about Shohei and nothing against Shohei, but Aaron Judge has been lights out too. And he's just.
I got a trade request in my fantasy league for Shohei Ohtani, is straight up 1-for-1 for Alec Bohm.
Really?
Now I looked, I was like, okay, is there something I'm missing with Bohm? Because he was having a rough start to the season. And I mean, he's playing a little better. I'm like, no. Let's just say there was a counter offer made.
Yeah.
Judge is good. What I'm looking at the excerpt that Jason Stark posted from his Athletic article. No right-handed hitter, over 200 WRC plus, over 450 games. I know there's a lot of like particular thresholds there. Since Rogers Hornsby.
Yeah. Exactly.
Gosh.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's admire it. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Yankees, just that it makes it tough. But this is where those of us that hated the Jordan era, because he's winning again. Now, all that we've said about correcting for that and admiring greatness.
And I think too, but Judge, remember too, it was a couple years ago when he broke Roger Maris's home run, and what was like the top, like when he hits a home run, he doesn't show, he goes and like runs the bases, head down and all. There's no showboating about it. Like, and I think people appreciate that.
I'm kind of almost at the point of either be all out, like do the bat flip, be wild, but that's you, or just run the bases. It's the ones in the middle that try to show off a little, like, okay, stop. Now you're trying. That's not real. No. I like that Judge has his lane.
Yep. I agree.
And that's okay.
My other stock riser was it was officially confirmed during the Kentucky Derby that NBC has reached an agreement with John Tesh to officially bring back iconic rock ball theme.
To think that there was that moment of like, maybe no.
But here, and there's two parts to this though too. It's because I was reading this from Awful Announcing. And we know that NBC Sports president Rick Cordella is keen on having player introductions be a part of the broadcast once again, because that was huge for me as a kid.
Yes.
I would always tune in. Like, again, I was not a Bulls fan. I could not stand, but I would watch those games because of what? I wanted to hear what I always called it, the Chicago Bulls theme song. And it wasn't until college when I played ESPN Seen It that I found out what the real name of that song was, because they played it. Yeah. Alan Parsons Project.
Right. Which,
and when the Seen It, everybody played Seen It. They played the audio clip. I'm like, oh, that's the Chicago Bulls starting theme song. Nope, there's actually a name for it.
That was right before the internet. Like, that was the early days of the internet. But if you didn't have it, you didn't have it. I had no idea what that song was. Like, I remember, like, I would have, if I didn't know what a song was, I'd have to ask my dad to go across the parking lot over here, because he worked at EAU, across the parking lot to go talk to like John Murphy or someone, and ask like, do you know what this song is? And rarely would I get the right answer, because again, you're like trying to describe it. You couldn't Shazam it.
Yeah.
Which,
Shazam
by the way,
the greatest app in the world.
Oh my gosh, that thing changed so much.
There's been so many times I've been at a Packer game back in the day, and I'm like, ooh, I really like that song. I want to add it to my workout list when I was like in sports, and I didn't know the name.
Yeah.
And I found out so many of the songs.
Be like checking out a quick trip and like, oh, I'm going to Shazam this. What is this song?
Yeah.
That's like the first part of Eye in the Sky too, from Alan Parsons. And I remember hearing that on the radio all the time. I had no idea that that's two parts of the same song.
Yeah. So
yes,
that, player intros, yes, and then the third part. I don't know how I feel about this, but it is an iconic voice in my childhood, because Jim Fagan, the voice, he's gone now. He's passed away. But anybody who watched NBA and NBC as a kid, and you hear the words, "This is the NBA on NBC," like I could play that voice in my head. It's so I don't know how I feel about it, but they're using an AI generated version of his voice.
Yeah,
I'm willing to hear it, but I'm not impressed with versions I've heard from other people, like the Lombardi one in 2020,
I think it's advanced enough.
I hope so.
You know, like have you heard the Sarah Lang's ones?
I have
On
not.
baseball.
No.
Like it's most episodes, not everyone, but most of them, they have something from Sarah Lang. So you can get, and that's a particular technology. I mean, of course, she's still alive, but her ability to speak has been inhibited enough. That's an option. Of course, there's also Al Michaels of the Olympics.
Yep.
Or the Olympics recaps. Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I've been seeing some fairly negative reaction to it. I guess my two thoughts on that. One, I guess it depends on if the person being recreated is okay with it. And it probably has to be like, are you okay? Or if they've passed away, can you have a reliable like family acceptance of it? Where they go, oh yeah, he would have been fine. We know him enough. They would know. I guess at that point, then they made the call. Who's to stop it at that point? The other thing was, as when I saw that, I went, oh gosh, remember when I said, I think it was like 2-ish years ago on the show, like, how long until we just get like Pat Summerall and John Madden calling games again?
Yeah.
And that had been dormant in my mind for the most part since. And when I saw that started to float back like, oh, here we go. We really are going to recreate classic sports voices. One of the knocks you'll occasionally hear about broadcasters nowadays is they all sound the same. Well, for one, I think that's kind of always been the case. I do think, though, and this is not a knock, but broadcasting school has probably produced more of a similarity. So where we're at now,
I think some of the greats, when you look back at how they started, no offense, but they didn't go to school for it.
Right.
You know
there
what
was
I mean?
not training for that.
Bob Uecker never went to school for it.
You didn't go to Syracuse. That's the thing. And a lot of them did, which again, great. Like you're going to be really good at that, but that's a subjective thing. For a lot of people, it doesn't really matter. Like call a game well. But, if it wasn't for Joe Davis doing a really good job as a Dodgers broadcaster, he seems to, he's not Vin Scully, and that's not the point. But he is locked in now as a Dodgers guy. He will be probably for a very long time to come. But had the Dodgers gone through like 3 or 4 people since and no one had gotten it, you better believe there would be some talk of, you think we could do an AI Vin Scully? You see where this is going?
Yeah.
And across the board, like Marv Albert on NBA on NBC.
Well, at least one person, I don't know if they're thinking about, and I'll get to my last one here because I don't know if Surveyor's just waiting with a bated breath right now. The other part of this I remember from the 90s in the NBA Finals is and he still does it to this day when he does games, but the commentary, the essays from Bob Costas.
And he still could.
He still could.
By the way, I would encourage anyone, as we're talking about all of this, I read this yesterday, and it's a good take on what NBC needs to do right. It's a take, but it's a decent one. From Sports Media Watch, John Lewis, Jon. John Lewis from Sports Media Watch had a story a couple days ago, his Monday Musings column, how the new NBA on NBC can avoid the nostalgia trap. He basically starts by mentioning the Frasier reboot.
Okay.
And that kind of sets the tone. He's like, it's more like, be cautious of what we're getting into with this. NBC did a lot right. They can do a lot right, but it could also get pretty hollow pretty fast too. So yeah, it's not a long read, but it's a worthy read for anyone who's excited about this. And I know you're one of them.
Should I get the hat?
Yes.
Okay.
Get it. For sure. It's got the logo and everything. Yeah, that's
NBA
awesome.
and NBC hat. Yeah.
I'm also glad listening to that excerpt from Peacock. They were talking about re-recording it. I was afraid it was going to, like, somehow Marshmallow was going to get tied into this. Side note, Marshmallow coming to Force Fields at the Fest grounds in June. I was afraid we're going to get something like that. Like, no, this isn't the original. It's going to be good.
All right.
What's your third one?
My
I haven't
third
even
one.
gotten to my stock.
So you might want to put your headphones on. If you can hear. Can you hear them a little bit?
We're bringing it up now. Okay.
Okay.
Headphones are on. Let's go.
Montage
Whoa.
right now. A little Rocky Ford training montage. Drago's on that incline thing, and doctors are looking at him. All this trash talk from Surveyor about the 5th annual Kasper Classic has got me extra motivated now to kick his you-know-what. And
boy.
seeing some of the songs that Steven Seagal wrote about you-know-what behind, I'm going to put extra focus into the out. I hope my golf partner is listening right now because we are going to go through 5 days a week of nonstop training to win this year. Horses are getting stuck in the snow right now. This is the actual movie clip one. So
Sure, there's no profanities.
there's not
Okay,
because,
good.
well, first of all, little side history note from Rocky IV.
Mhm.
The song, because I have the soundtrack. I know this.
Of course.
The training montage song on the soundtrack is different than what's in the movie.
Ooh.
The movie version is far superior.
Oh yeah, that's sometimes what happened. Yeah,
It's far superior
Yeah, okay.
than the CD one.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it's far superior.
Are we gonna like blast this over the speakers?
So why it's a stock riser is because Surveyor's got my competitive juices rolling right now.
Mhm.
With all the trash talk, you could hear Rocky grunting in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it's like
I mean, I feel like I could go out and like wrestle a 500
I think this is where he's dragging the sled right now. That sort of stuff. So thank you to Surveyor because now I'm even more motivated to shoot under par at this 5th annual Casper Classic now, and to finally, as God, these back, I gotta turn the back. The grunting in the background from Sylvester and Drago right now is just a little ridiculous.
Out of context grunting.
What's Don Johnson's character in Tin Cup? He has a line in the movie. What's his David Sims.
Mhm.
When he's doing his charity tournament, he says, I'm just sick and tired of seeing the money leave out of town. When he talks about his own charity tournament, I'm sick and tired of seeing my title belts getting donned by other people. So I hope my golf partner is listening and he's ready to put in a little extra work because we're not going home empty-handed this year. And we're practicing 5-6 days a week from here on out till August 1st.
So does this mean if Surveyor Sam does still win, is he gonna like plant the Soviet flag? He could.
The thing is, he's a surveyor. He's got access to flags.
Yes, he does.
So
I do actually have like a toy.
you have a toy Soviet Union flag.
Why
do you have that?
Good question.
Why
I've had
you still have that?
well, it's a scalp. Or it's a something you have when you win a battle, or it's a memento, or what. No, I'm making a Cold War joke here.
Yeah.
I seriously don't. I have no idea how I got it. Like, I didn't get it. I think. See, now, like, my dad would have come across it, but he was a history person. So where would he have gotten it?
I don't know, but
I don't know, but I do have one. So, Surveyor, if you need a Soviet flag, sorry, I'm helping out your opposition here.
That's fine.
I do have a Soviet flag, so you can go full Drago if you need to.
I will easily don. Here we go now. Again, I hope my golf partner's listening. We may have to for that day only, purchase and wear some American flag shorts. And represents the US of A.
It says as long as it's not an American flag Speedo.
No. We're not C-Bomb here. We're not there. We may have to wear some American flag boxing shorts.
Okay.
And, because I've always said this, I was a history minor in college.
Right.
And I always wanted the question. I would have had to be confident enough on a test to be like, okay, I'm going to get this thing done. I always wanted the question, what ended the Cold War? And I was prepared for it. And I was going to say Rocky defeating Drago. Because if I could change and you could change, everybody could change. So I think the world needs me to take down Surveyor in this golf outing. And I will say this, I'm in the best shape I've been in 15 years. I've lost 45 pounds.
Yeah.
My swing's going to be faster. It's going to be more powerful. I'm not going to get tired. I'm ready for this moment.
We still got like months to go.
I know.
It's only May 7th.
Yep.
June, July,
Yep.
It's under 3 months to go.
So thank you, Surveyor.
But you got to keep this up now for under 3 months.
Oh, I hope Surveyor keeps trash talking for every day now. For 3 months.
Well, now you're basically telling him here's the way out. Don't trash talk for 3 months.
Did you say here's the way out? There's no easy way out.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. So I'm going to show up at that.
My heart is on fire.
Yes. So I'm going to show up with a mullet and a white shirt buttoned to the very top with a big black overcoat that day. It's no easy way out. Wow.
I'm gonna have to bust out that CD somewhere.
It's got to be on a streaming service somewhere.
Oh no, we're going old school. We're going.
Well, no, you need a cassette. If you really want to go old school, 1986, you need a cassette.
Dude,
Cassettes are making a comeback.
I remember the day I bought that CD soundtrack because I have
Was it from Columbia House? Was it like 10 CDs for a penny?
It's better.
Ooh,
it's better. I don't know why. I remember stupid stuff like this. I don't know why I remember this as a kid. I saw it in a store multiple times. And I'll tell you where it was at. But I saw it multiple times. And then finally I just bought it. Kmart at Chippewa Falls.
South Side?
Yeah.
Nice.
When I was a kid, still living in Medford, but whenever we'd have like a Friday off, like for end of quarter, my aunt would take me to Eau Claire and we'd just spend a day and, I'd go to Shields and buy, okay, what NBA jerseys were only $10? Give me some of that.
This is the go to the big city thing? Like,
yeah,
it was.
It was.
Yeah.
And our last stop was Kmart in Chippewa Falls. And a few times I saw it sitting there and finally I bought it. It was like $10. I still have it.
Gotta frame that thing.
Oh, I had it on display in the man cave. I gotta find out where I put it though. Because the only 2 CDs I still have with the case is that and
Space Jam soundtrack.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yep. The OG.
There were several Monstars references to the Timberwolves last night.
Surveyor says he will not take the Soviet flag, but will gladly go straight 1770s and plant the British flag right in front of you, DK.
Whoa!
I will red coat the truck of the plastic.
I like the history swerve on that one.
All right. I got a text by a golf
buddy.
Red
coats. Dang.
And the shorts have to be a little short because they're boxing shorts.
Yes, of course. Right.
All right. I'll see if my buddy's in for the
So is he going to wear like Union Jack shorts, go all like Joe Elliott or who is it? Well,
Surveyor could probably dress a little like Payne Stewart and have the knickers.
He could. See, I was suggesting Def Leppard from like the Photograph video. Remember the Def Leppard drummer would wear like short British flag shorts, and that's like all he had were short shorts with the British flag on it. I mean, if you wanna, that's the route to go. If we're gonna have American shorts, you gotta break out your Union Jack.
Oh, I'm gonna do some shopping now. I do have the Rocky that's behind you, Rocky 2 version.
Yeah, looming over me.
I do have a pair of those shorts.
Okay,
but I can't wear those.
Too small.
No, they're not. They're black and yellow ones. So I need the American flag.
Yeah,
ones.
That's right. That's right. I never got to my stock riser. I'll just say, I'll make it quick. It's the Pacers.
Yuck.
Sorry, but I mean, well, got to be real right now.
All right, we went really long, so we got to take a break.
Yeah, let's
regroup here, and so
I'm going to go back to watching Over the Top.
I'm going to do some shopping after these quick words. When it comes to orthopedic care, Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here for you. Their team of specialists provide comprehensive services, including joint replacement, sports medicine, pain management, and spine care. Whether you're recovering from an injury or managing chronic pain, they offer personalized treatment plans to help you get back to the activities that you love. Just visit CVOSM to schedule an appointment today. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, your partner in recovery. Surveyor might want to make an appointment for August 2nd for Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Wow. That's planting a flag, figuratively speaking.
That's supposed to be a mic drop, but I think I might have to recruit Veronica to recreate this scene. Put your headphones on to recreate this iconic cinematic classic scene too, leading up to it.
Eventually.
There's one thing do for me.
What?
Win. Ding. And I need to get my high school coach to play Mickey and be my trainer. So
Percentage chance that Veronica agrees to do that.
67.
Really?
Yep.
67. That's
I might have to do something or, but 67%. I think we can do it.
Well, it's for the good of America.
It is. It is.
So she shouldn't have to ask for anything.
I could quote what's the movie? I just blanked on it. Team USA. Blank, yeah. Come on, what is it? Is it just Team America? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Team America, World Police.
World Police, yeah. That one.
All right. We still got to take another break before we wrap up. We went way on a side roll or side track.
Hey, I zipped all the way through.
Yeah, you've literally watched the whole over the top movie.
I fast forwarded through a lot of it too. Yes.
Prize ending.
Didn't see that coming. Oh my gosh! Wow. I'm not going to spoil it for the people though. Look, you got to watch the movie on your own time. Find out if Sly Stallone does in fact win in the end. I mean, to be fair, didn't always work out in Rocky.
See, now I just got songs from motivational sports movies. Now I got Teen Wolf playing. When you know what I'm talking about, the scene, Michael J. Fox doesn't turn into the wolf. I think we could beat these guys. And then this song, Win in the End, starts playing. You know what? 80s songs, sports-wise, were so... There's an underrated song, Rocky IV, called Victory, and there's a line on there that says, "Sweetest victory, I love you more than life itself." It's like, oh my God, it's so corny, but it's so catchy.
By Touch.
See, I wouldn't know that. So,
well, because I have the Wikipedia page in front of me. That's the only reason why I know that either. You see why 80s soundtrack things are like the go-to default thing. Like that's a thing because they made a difference.
Yeah. Still, yeah. Probably a good thing they cut us off there.
Probably,
so,
yeah. Maybe that was like the world telling us we need to stop talking about 80s soundtrack movies.
And take our final break before we're late. So we'll do that. Picks. We'll do that to wrap up this morning. We'll be back. I am not familiar with this one. Surveyor says the best montage is from the movie Vision Quest, so I'm not familiar. I'll have to YouTube.
It's
Google
the one
that
with Madonna.
I have no idea.
Crazy for You and such. I've not seen that movie though, so I
No
don't
idea.
know the montage.
So as you've heard already by now, George Pickens was traded to the Cowboys. So he is not having the chance to play for one Aaron Rodgers when Aaron goes to Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
Apparently there's a plan in play, though. According to Mike Florio, per source with the knowledge of the situation, Jets receiver Alan Lazard is in play to be traded to the Steelers.
This is really going to happen.
Oh, why do people not learn their lesson?
Randall Cobb available.
I mean, for crying out loud.
David Bakhtiari could still come out of retire, like not playing or whatever.
This wow. Okay. Here we are. Here we are. I'm a part of this now. So that's office quote. So wow.
So
That's
basically,
I was laughing during the break. I'm like, yeah, we're doing this.
Okay.
We're gonna do this.
we're really gonna recreate.
Let's bring in what's his face? I just blanked on his name again. His favorite coach of all time as a consultant offensive.
Mike Clemens.
No, Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh, that's right. Yes, Natty Hackett.
Yeah, Hackett. So let's do some picks to wrap it up here.
At least we're not Steelers fans. I don't have to worry about that.
I know there's been polls, but I'd be really curious to see where they're at this point. I mean, I think it's a foregone conclusion Rodgers is playing for them. It's just
it sure seems like it.
And I get what, like Albert Breer said, he's not committing right now, so he doesn't have to go to all this OTA stuff. So if there is something going on in his personal life, and then he signs and he's not there, then it's going to be the whole like last year when he wasn't with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a horrible PR move by the Jets, in my opinion, when they said, yeah, it's an inexcused absence, but we knew he wasn't going to be there. Then don't say it's inexcused.
Right.
Don't say that.
At least I trust the Steelers organization to handle this better than the Jets organization.
Mm-hmm.
But still.
Yeah. All right. Let's start off with the NBA, shall we? We've got 2 games today, both game 2s. Knickerbockers at the Celtics of Boston.
I don't see the Celtics breaking 45 threes, but maybe could always do it again because that seems to be the thing nowadays. I think the Celtics win actually probably somewhat comfortably.
Yeah, I'm going to go Celtics in this one too. Denver, OKC.
That's the one where I don't think the 1 seed is necessarily in danger. I'm going to pick the Thunder, and I think they're going to end up winning the series too.
Yeah, I'm going to go Thunder too. I did find it interesting that every lower seed won their first games.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think I flagged this earlier this season. The Thunder weren't that great against really good teams. I mean, the thought did cross my mind. Of course, this is pre-game 1 last night that like the Wolves do have a path, I think. Like if somehow Denver upset them and Wolves match up well with them, like there is a path, however narrow. But I think the Thunder, like they'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Gordon's not going to keep getting game-winning shots. Even with Jokic on that team, I think the Thunder is still too good.
Yep.
And they started by winning tonight and tying it up.
2 games on the NHL docket. Florida at Toronto. Toronto leads the series 1-0.
I'll take Florida to tie this up.
I'm going to go Florida too. Stars, Jets.
Not the Jets.
Okay.
I like how I did that.
Yeah, I'll go Dallas. So let's do some baseball games to wrap it up here. We got a full-on slate. Guardians at the Nationals. We'll go rapid fire with this.
Okay, Guardians.
Pirates, Cardinals.
Potential trade bait, Sonny Gray. I take the Cards.
I'm going to go Cardinals too. Giants, Cubs.
I will go Robbie Ray and the Giants on the road.
Ooh, I'll go Giants too. Mariners, Athletics.
The Mariners.
Mets, Diamondbacks.
Let's go Mets.
Dodgers, Marlins.
You'd think it'd be. I suppose the Dodgers have been better of late. I'll take Dodgers.
Rangers, Red Sox. I love how we're calling hitting coaches offensive coordinators in baseball now.
I heard that. I was like, wait. I had to like rewind when I heard that news. Like what?
Yeah.
Is it? I'll go Rangers in this one.
I am going to go Red Sox. Phillies, Rays.
I'll take the Phils.
Phillies, Padres, Yankees.
Yanks.
Yankees with Max Fried on the mound.
Mhm.
Reds, Braves.
I'll take the Reds.
I'm going to go Reds too. Baltimore, I'll say that one. Chicago,
Okay.
White Sox, Royals.
That you see that play of the White Sox?
Mhm.
Not good. I'll take the Royals.
Royals, Tigers, Rockies.
Tigers.
Blue Jays, Angels.
I'll go with the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays. And then we will do go back to Baltimore, Minnesota.
So Charlie Morton sucks right now. Just waiting for Royce Lewis to figure out another way to get injured. But I mean, like Byron Buxton's actually playing pretty good. Paul Hembekides on Baseball Tonight said he'd be a good trade option. If the Twins really aren't going to do anything, trade him now while he's healthy and producing well. Because the farm system's pretty good. You could actually get a decent return. It's not the craziest idea, really. I think the Twins win this one tonight.
I'm going to go Twins too. And then finally, first pitch early today, 12:10, Houston, Milwaukee.
I'm intrigued by those Priester trade comments of like, it's going to be a while before we figure this one out. Like, I guess, fair enough. I'll take, I know Framber Valdez hasn't had the greatest start, but I think the Astros do get the win.
I'm going to go Astros in this one too, unfortunately.
Well, Brewers got back above 500. But maybe they got their edge.
Well, then they'll probably, if they lose today, they're right at 500. So
lose their edge again.
Yeah. So, all right. Those are your picks for this morning. I think judge, jury, executioner, Bloomer Tony probably had the best lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The
Could
case
you
to be
repeat
made.
that one?
I will.
Anyone who wasn't listening earlier.
I'd file. So again, really quick, because there's a fan that's suing the NFL $100 million because his feelings got hurt that Shedeur Sanders fell in the draft. Emotional distress or distress. So we made it fun. What would be one that you'd sue? And I think Bloomer Tony wins it. He said, I'd file against Harvey Keene on behalf of my mom for negligent bullpen management in Game 7 of the 82 World Series. My mom was pregnant, locked in, and nearly went into premature labor when McClure got shelled. I've had Brewer-induced anxiety since. Before I had a Social Security number, it's been womb-deep trauma ever since. So I think Bloomer wins it.
Yep.
He made the case.
Mm-hmm.
So
there was near like maternal trauma, like actual. That's. And I'm not really joking. Like that. No, like really, like that. That's not good.
No,
it is not good.
So
thank you for. I'm glad that it all worked out because obviously
thank you for sharing. So I know it's probably a painful memory in time. So
I mean, I'm sure he doesn't remember it because like. Usually, I mean,
he says he's had womb-induced trauma since then.
Well, because you can have stuff happen to you like in the womb. You may not literally remember it. And again, not joking. Like that stuff can happen.
Yep.
Dang.
Best of luck, Bloomer. If you think about filing and going, for compensation.
Just go with what's the attorney that always advertises on Brewers and Bucks games?
One call. That's all. David Gruber. It's so much that my kid knows because there's a sign too outside Stanley.
Yeah,
Hudson knows it. He knows it. He knows who he is. He knows the tagline. He knows it. It's all over.
Well, see, there you go. Yep. You know who to call.
Yep. It works.
You got standing down in Milwaukee.
It works.
Okay, so. There we go.
Yep. Have a good rest of your day. DP Dannets are up next. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, same place, same time, 6 a.m. We'll talk to you all then.